Welcome, everybody, to the Healing Place podcast. I am your host, Teri Wellbrock, and very, very excited to learn today. You know how I'm always smiling when I hit record and my guests are coming on. I'm excited to learn because we've already had a little brief conversation before I hit record. So I have Robert Bray, PhD, LCSW, and he's going to talk to us about thought field therapy. And very, very cool. So welcome.
Well, I'm so glad to be here. This is what I get excited about because this is what I want to do at this point in my life, bringing thought field therapy, energy psychology to the world to help heal is what I'm about these days. I still do a little clinical practice, 10 hours a week or whatever, but mostly I'm into training people and teaching people about thought field therapy, which was the original energy psychology. Now, if you've never heard of this, I'll just tell you, you need to, because thought field therapy, energy psychology is the most researched approach to trauma there is today. There's over 400 peer-reviewed journal articles about using tapping to help heal traumatic stress. Like I think 6 or maybe 8. I'm not sure. Meta-analysis. I'm just saying there's a high level of research for this. 25 years ago when I started, there was nothing. And now we have it. And there's a simple place you can get lots of all of that. But if you've never heard of it or you've never done it, then you're not treating yourself to the best possible care. And that's what I'm about, because we know that trauma is a horrible thing. I'm a traumatic stress specialist. I've been doing this. I'm 73. I've been doing this since I was 23, And what I know is that the missing ingredient oftentimes to complete recovery is doing some tapping, because tapping approaches dealing with those things that there aren't words for. It's not cognitive. It's about having an experience in a moment that shifts your experience, that helps you be able to, well, I say it converts traumatic stress flashbacks into manageable memories. And once you do that, then you can be in the moment and you can take what you need and go from there. I'm just going on and on. Sorry.
No, I love it.
I'm just excited that we get to reach these people.
Yeah, and we've talked a little bit about tapping here. I've done tapping myself, EFT. I've done EMDR therapy. I did that for 4 years, but that was, that was scary and hard, where tapping is so much more gentle because you don't necessarily have to go know what the trauma was, right?
Right, exactly. And that's EMDR is actually, they would describe it as a cognitive technique with a physiological component. So I learned that when it first came out. I thought it was great stuff. But then when I learned thought field therapy, I found that this is much faster, much easier. And if you like EFT, you're going to love TFT because it's so much easier. It's so much better. EFT came out of the work of Gary Craig, who was the student of Roger Callahan, who was a psychologist who originated this idea that you can make changes in the moment by stimulating meridian treatment points in a specific order. So I worked with Roger for many years. I was his lead trainer. When he couldn't go someplace or his wife couldn't go someplace, I'd go do it, or I would train with them. So I know it. I use it every day, and it's very powerful. And I'd love to show you how it works, what to do with it. And the nice thing about TFT, in all the research that's been done, it doesn't cause harm. When you do the tapping sequence, either you're going to notice an improvement. If you do it times and it's not working, that's okay. It just means you need a different tapping pattern or another piece with it. But there's the simplest stuff that we show people is how to do it. And, 80-90% of the time, people are going to get a response from just doing the simplest thing. And you can't hurt yourself.
So does it follow? Is it following the same, or you add in some different ones? Because, I know it's like the different.
Well, no, you see, the standard EFT pattern is Gary Craig and Roger. He worked with Roger for 3 years. He was his student. And then at some point they had a parting of ways because Dr. Callahan Roger was a psychologist who was a healer. That was his focus, and he wanted to bring the best that he could to the most. Gary Craig had a different idea. He was a businessman, he was an engineer, and he wanted to do something that was simpler. And so they had a parting of ways. Now, I'm not saying EFT doesn't work because most of the research that's been done has been using EFT. So I'll give you a website later. You can go look at all of the articles that have been done. It's very effective. If it doesn't, if EFT doesn't work, then you need to find something else. And TFT is often that next step. And in TFT, we have lots of options available. So the tapping sequence is different, what we use for, well, I call it the crisis tapping pattern. But the other big deal is you don't have to have words. We have to figure out what the setup is, what the words are, how to use them. What I would simply say is, and you can do this with me if you want, right now, and anybody's listening can try this too, because either it's going to work or it's not going to do anything at all. It's not going to make things worse. But if you think about, clearly you've done a lot of work in your life, but if you think of something that's still unfinished, if you think of some event in the past that when you bring it up, oh, you're already there. You're ahead of me, right? You
Yes.
can feel the upset still in your body. Okay.
Yeah. My legs are tingling. My stomach
Okay.
flips. Yeah.
Okay, so you're there. So let's just do a 0 to 10 so we can tell how it's changing for you. 0 being no upset at all, 10 being the worst you can imagine it as you're feeling it in your body right now. How is it right now?
I mean, when I first thought about it, it was about a 6.
Okay, and what is it in this moment? Because we only work in the moment.
In the moment, I'd say it's about a 4.
Okay, so notice where it's at. Now do this. Tap the side of your hand. And then tap on your nose right on your upper lip. Oh, upper lip. There we go. Don't get distracted by my nose. Okay, now tap the beginning of the eyebrow. So the center line of the face, either side, and then tap under the eye. Now tap under the arm in the middle of the rib cage, about where your brow comes across good. And then tap under the collarbone. Go at the notch of the throat, down an inch or so, over an inch or so, a little more over. There you go. Okay. Then the index finger.
Oh, hold on. I've never done that.
Index finger, pointy finger.
Gotcha. Okay.
Between the last knuckle and the bed of the nail, slightly towards the thumb,
Okay.
under the collarbone. Tiny finger under the collarbone. Now, in EFT originally, there was something called the bridge. It's called the 9 gamut series. So you're tapping between the ring finger and the pinky finger in that little valley, about a ½ inch towards your wrist. Now, as you're doing that, you're going to keep tapping while we do 9 things fairly quickly. Close your eyes for a moment. Open your eyes. Keep your head level and just drop your eyes down into the left. Now drop your eyes down into the right. Now whirl your eyes in a big circle all the way around the room. That's it. Now back the other way. Yeah, this is the hardest part. Now
I know.
hum. Yeah. Now hum and count 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Then hum again. Then we just repeat the last pattern we did. Side of hand, under nose, beginning of eyebrow, under eye, under arm, under collarbone, index finger, under collarbone, tiny finger, under collarbone. Okay, now stop. Now I'd ask you to, however you pulled up that event last time, I don't know if you're visual or what, but bring it up again.
Yeah.
Notice what you feel.
Yeah.
What's the number now?
A 2.
Okay. Sudden drop. Okay.
Yeah.
So in TFT, when you get to a 2, we could just repeat the pattern again, or there might be, we would try something maybe called the floor to ceiling eye roll. And what you can do that right now is tap the back of your hand, that spot between the pinky finger and the ring finger, and keep tapping there, and then hold your head relatively level and drop your eyes all the way to the floor. Now hold them there. And I'm going to count over 7, 8 seconds, and you're going to roll your eyes very slowly all the way to the top of your head. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Very good. 6, 7, 8. Stop. Now, sometimes that makes a difference. Sometimes it doesn't, but I thought I'll just show you how we standardly do these things. So pull it up again.
Yeah.
And what do you notice now?
I don't have the sensation in my legs or my stomach.
Okay. So when was the last time you could pull up that image or that memory and be this calm and relaxed?
A long, long, long time.
See, this is the piece that's often missing in traumatic stress recovery. I mean, there's a lot of parts to recovering from the violence that's happened, but the first and most important is bringing it to a point where you're fully present in the moment. You're not having any flashbacks associated with that at this moment. Now, if I were your therapist, I would know what we were talking about. I'd know what was going on. And then I would suggest, okay, let's look at it this, or let's think about that, or the next piece or that. But this is often the missing piece that people who've done a lot of therapy still aren't able to get to that place, because that's what we want, is for you to be in control of your own life.
Yeah.
And when you're having flashbacks, you don't feel very in control of your life.
Yeah. And what's fascinating to me, and I've talked about this particular event and this particular
Okay.
issue
Okay.
on air a number of times, is that oh shoot, I had a point, but the issue being that
Take your time with it. It's okay.
it came in
Something's
and then it,
clicking. I can see that now that you kind of gone through this. There's some things, some gears turning here, and
yeah, yeah,
that's what we want, because that's what you need to do. So,
right. And I'm so
if it's an event that's
fascinated.
been there a lot for you, it's nice that you're having a different experience with the recall.
Yeah. And to me, like, and the one thing I noticed is I immediately caught my breath. So I didn't even realize, like, as I had originally first thought about it,
Yeah.
I held my
Mm,
breath. And
right.
then right after, like, I was like, oh, like I caught my breath. And
Yeah.
it wasn't even something I was thinking about or
Right.
knew
And
was
that's
happening.
and that's because what happens just naturally. When that healing occurs, then you automatically know where to go with it. And usually what happens when people are having flashbacks is they've activated the sympathetic nervous system, right? They're like freaking out, and they need to move from that fight or flight to the there and then, when it was
Yeah.
unsafe and to the here and now, where it's safe and it's fine. And in the here and now, it's safe and it's fine. It's okay to breathe, right?
Yeah.
So often
Oh,
you see
it
people
came
taking
back to
natural
me.
breath. Oh, okay.
Okay. So when you say flashback,
Yeah.
it's and I'm just going to explain this really quick. And again, a lot of my listeners understand. So horrific bank robberies, two of them within 3 months of each other. The second one, I trapped in an open space between two gunmen. And I had to choose to either run towards death or death. Like those were my only options, because highway in front of me, house behind me.
Right, right.
So when I'm in on a beach now, I used to love being out on the beach, big wide open space. I could walk along the shore.
Mhm.
But as we did more and more and more healing, pulled the onion layers away,
Mhm.
I suddenly found that I was feeling like I needed to be a hermit crab and just hide and crawl under my umbrella and like get into the sand in a shell,
Yeah.
one
Mhm.
in an open space. And I was like,
Right.
what?
Too
Where is
vulnerable.
this coming from? Right. And so it's and I've tried to explain it as, I'm not really having a flashback like, oh, there's armed gunmen around me, but it's like my body is
Right.
feeling it. And
Right.
so someone told me the other day that
Right.
it's like your body is keeping you trapped in these walls. And
Right.
so that's so cool. It's like this is knocking the walls down.
Right. Right. And I always like to put things in a positive sense. And I would say your body is trying to protect you. Your body is remembering that open is not safe in some cases. And so I'm going to close. And, what we've done here is we've just said, oh, that's true, but not in this case, not in this moment. And that's what you need to recognize. And then you can begin to say, okay, that happened to me. And that's a memory. But it's just like a picture on the mantle, right? You can take the picture down, you can look at it, you can think, oh, I remember when I took that picture. I can remember who was there. I can remember what happened. I remember what I felt like when I was doing that. I have feelings about those memories at this point, and it's all, and then you say, oh, okay, I gotta go. You put the picture back on the mantle and you're done. The problem with trauma is you can't put the picture back on the mantle. It's still right there in your face. And people have described it as they tap, the picture changes, it fades, it moves away, it becomes different. And it's no longer you're experiencing it like you did then. It's a memory. And just like everything else in your life, memories have great value.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I mean, well, again, my brain's going a million different directions with this.
Right,
And,
right.
and so thought field therapy, energy psychology, again,
Yes,
I'm fascinated. Before we hit record, you mentioned kinesiology, and
right,
I told you I threw my back out, hence me
right,
wearing a baseball hat for you guys watching
right,
the video.
right,
And my chiropractor, who I had seen earlier today, does
right,
kinesiology work. And so at the end of our little
right,
session, she had my feet and was asking my body like
right.
what else it needed. And so we
Uh,
went through this process. So I'm a huge fan of that. And so that's part of this process.
Well, Roger was introduced. He was a psychologist, good practice here in LA, and a psychiatrist friend had gone to a workshop and he saw applied kinesiology, and so he came back and he showed Roger, and Roger said, I was fascinated because the muscles, the body were working in a different way I'd never been taught or thought about, and he was fascinated. He went and took the 100-hour kinesiology course that was being offered at that time. He's one of the few people who wasn't non-chiropractors who ever took it. And he came back and he said, this is very powerful. So he started using muscle testing as a way to interact with some of his clients. Now, again, he knows his clients, he knows what he's doing, and he's starting to recognize there's some things that happen within the muscle testing as he's working with his clients that are giving him information that he's kind of interested in. And some of it's information that he would have predicted, some of it's stuff he wouldn't have predicted. And he began to work with that and learn how to help people being able to use that direct information. See, that's what I love about it, is when I'm doing thought field therapy with someone, I'm communicating with their internal healer, with their internal systems. And so I I'm I'm not afraid to take on anything because I'm going to listen to what the other is telling me about what they need. And so through muscle testing, the body would tell Roger, well, you need to tap here and you need to tap in this way to do these things. And then they do that and then they were better.
Oh my God.
So
Yeah.
so it's and to do thought field therapy, you don't have to know muscle testing, kinesiology. At the most advanced forms, that's what we do. But what I did is just the basic crisis tapping pattern, and you can find that. You go to YouTube, put my name in, crisis tapping pattern, or you go to my website, rlbray.com, hit the button that says try TFT. It's there. And it's out there. And in most cases, you're going to get some relief. Now, if you don't, that's okay. Don't worry about it. It just means that you need a different tapping pattern or a couple of other things. We also do these, this all works in the meridian system that we're doing with. Roger then went on and started working in the chakra systems of energy. And so we're working with the energy systems of the body and the mind and the spirit at the same time that we're doing psychological healing.
Yeah. And just out of a personal curiosity, I was
Yeah,
speaking with someone earlier today, and this person was telling me that they've had nightmares and wake up every night and they've done all kinds of therapy and ketamine and all kinds of stuff, right?
right,
But continue to have these
right,
nightmares that
right.
terrorize them.
Yeah.
Is this something that could help with that as
Oh,
well?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It can be very helpful. What I would say to them is, look, try some tapping before you go to bed. Just before you go to bed, do the crisis tapping pattern. If you wake up with a nightmare, it means that something has been activated. Do the crisis tapping pattern then and see if you can get back to sleep. And then, once you're getting some sleep and you're not terrorized by the night, you can talk about other things you can do to be helpful. But it doesn't hurt to just start doing it.
Yeah.
And I've had lots of success. People have had lots of success working around this, because if you can calm that down, stay present in the moment, okay, then you can sleep. And then you can find that also, if you wake up and you've been traumatized, tap, go back to sleep. It's okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, thank you. Yeah, that's awesome. I will certainly pass this along and say, all right, you need to listen to this episode. I love it. I love it. Well, what's really cool about this is
Yeah.
that this is something that can be done via Zoom. You
Yeah.
don't have to be in person, correct?
Right. And doing the basic tapping patterns, EFT, if you use EFT just has a standard tapping pattern. They do the same thing over and over again. And if it's working for you, that's great. If it's not working for you in thought field therapy, we have like 14 different standard tapping patterns that might be useful to you if the first one doesn't work. If that doesn't work, then we can do causal diagnosis, which is using muscle testing to communicate directly with your body about what it needs in that moment, and it will give us the tapping pattern. Now, muscle testing can be done also. We teach it in physical on-site kind of way, so you get an experience of it, but it's also can be done through surrogate testing. So I would be in our most advanced forms, what I would say is, may I muscle test for you? You give me permission, I will be your surrogate. And I will use my own self-testing in order to identify what your body is telling me is needed at that moment. And
Wow.
so, yeah, that's the most advanced form. But, most cases, you don't even need to go that far.
Right.
You just
Right.
need to start doing it. Now, again, the thing I like about this versus EFT is we don't have to worry about the words. So you didn't need to tell me what the event was. You didn't need to tell me what the focus was. You didn't need to come up with some words that you needed to say while you were tapping. I find the words just get in the way. Once you connect to the internal experience, the subjective experience of what's going on, that's all we need. You're there, the information is there, and we tap.
Okay. Now, does this work again? I use myself so often as
Yeah.
like a guinea pig for these things, but does
Well,
this
thank you
work?
for doing that. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm happy to
Yeah.
share so that it can help others along their journey. Does this help with physical? And let me just ask about, because um I have the psoriasis rash and it was
Right.
mold activated. And
Right.
so I've been told by multiple practitioners, from nutritionists to
Yeah.
naturopaths, that the toxins are out of your body. You've done all this incredible healing work, but the rash is still holding on. And so they keep. I've heard repeatedly, this is trauma related. Like your
Well, it
body
may
is
be trauma
telling you something.
related, but see, the thing here is that we're working at an energetic level. And it's like, even after the substance has left your body, the energetic signature is still there and is still affecting your body. And, with the kind of problem you're talking about, it's an immune problem. The body keeps thinking, I'm being attacked, I'm being attacked. And it's not because the substance is there, it's because the energy of that substance is still in your body. So, yeah, we have tapping for that can be helpful. We actually have a technique we call the 7-second treatment, that's specifically about eliminating individual energy toxins and sensitivities. So, like right now, you're sitting with this condition. Is it bothering you at all? Do you feel
No.
it?
Mm-mm.
Okay. So you've got it under control in that sense. But so what we would do is do muscle testing to find out what would be more helpful for you to do that. But it has applications in all kinds of things, because everything about being human starts with information. And that information is accessible to us in a different way by using muscle testing and by using TFT. But applications, how's your back right now? You got any pain I can treat?
Oh, I pulled a muscle, moving a chair, folks. It's how I'm getting old.
Yeah, well, don't stop doing it though. Yeah.
Right, right, right.
Right.
Yeah, I mean it's a little tender right now. Yeah,
Zero to
sitting still,
10.
I'm okay.
0 to 10, how bad is it?
Um, Sitting still, it's probably like a 3.
Okay. So can I muscle test for you?
Of course,
Okay. So watch my index finger. Say I want to be healthy.
I want to be healthy.
Okay. That's a strong response. Okay. Now think about the pain in your back.
Okay,
Now, you don't see much happening there, that index finger at this point. That's a weak
right.
response. So say the words, we can tap to help this.
We can tap to help this.
I'm just asking the body if it's up for it. Yes. Okay. So what I'm going to do is now say the words, I want to be over this pain.
I want to be over this pain.
Okay. So think about the source of the pain and where it's at. And now what I'd like you to do is I'm testing on my body to see where we need to tap. So I want you to tap that spot on the back of your hand. Did you give me a number, a level of distress?
At the point at the moment it was 3 because I wasn't moving.
Oh, okay. So just keep tapping there. We're going to tap a little longer than we usually do when we tap that spot. Okay, keep tapping. I'm going to see if I can find something else. Tap on your middle finger between the last knuckle and the bed of the nail, slightly toward the thumb. Tap on the outside of the eye, right on the temple there. Tap under the arm. Tap under the collarbone. Okay, just say healing this pain.
Say what?
Stop tapping, say healing this pain.
Healing this pain.
Okay, see now it's strong. Just focus on the pain. And tell me, what do you notice?
Well, weirdly, it's like it's spreading, but in a release.
Okay, so it's a spreading, it's a healing way. Let's try the next piece. Tap the back of your hand again. Back of the hand.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Close your eyes. Open your eyes. Look down left. Look down right. Whirl your eyes in a big circle. Back the other way. Hum. Count.
1, 2, 3.
Hum again. Okay, so stop humming and just keep tapping there. We're going to repeat what we did before this 9-gamut series. This is the standard architecture of treatment with TFT. Is you tap some points, then you do that 9-gamut series, then you come back and you tap some more. Let's see. Now tap the middle finger. Outside of eye. Underarm. Under collarbone. All right, Teri, just notice your back again.
Yeah.
What do you notice now?
Very slight, just like a 1.
Right. So it just helped ease that. And that was
Yeah.
an energetic treatment that was supplementing all this other physiological stuff you were doing for it. And so that's part of the advantage of using thought field therapy is when you don't have a doctor handy, you don't have a pill handy, this is a way that your body will help heal whatever that injury is. So there's lots of applications for it, both for those kinds of physical injuries and also for diseases. I would say that if you're if it's not healing when it's gone, not there in a physical sense, it's because it's still there in an energetic sense. And so we could do some tapping around healing that.
Yeah.
So, that's what's so exciting about it is that there's applications all over the place in many different ways to help people. And I just want people to know it's there. There's help available. And if you've done the work of therapy and you're still freaking out, it's because there's still a piece missing. It's not cognitive. When you experience violence, it's just not a thought of violence. It's just not watching the violence. It's you experience it. So you need to change your experiential response in order to heal it. And that's what I want to see happen is I just want there to be less violence in the world. And to do that, you have to heal the violence that has been done.
Yes. Amen. What a
Yeah.
beautiful,
Yeah.
beautiful, beautiful sentiment. Thank you for that. Yes. Well, this has just been incredible, and thank you. I mean, it's just been so great to walk through this process and let
Right.
people, I'm sure people listening are doing it themselves, which is wonderful. So how do folks connect with you? Can they work
Okay.
with you?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Just go to my website, rlbray.com. Okay. And on the website, see the button that says try TFT, and you'll see a YouTube video of me doing just that basic pattern I did with you to start with. You can also, I do trainings. I do a 4-day training that's everything you'll ever want to know. I do a 1-day training that's the basic kinds of things that you need to know to help yourself and help others. And if you're interested, there's a couple of surveys that you can take. One is, where are you on your recovery journey? Because most people don't understand that recovery trauma is a very specific thing, and you're there when certain things are happening or when they're not. And so it's a 8-item thing that you go through and you rate on a scale of 5 different points, and it'll tell you where you're at. And then I will send you some tapping information. I'll send you some literature to be happy. If you're a person who does help other people and you want to do energy psychology, there's another survey there that will help you rate how much do you know about energy psychology? Where are you really at in your developing your skills to help other people with that?
Oh,
So,
wonderful.
or just YouTube L Bray, crisis tapping pattern. You'll find it, and you can't hurt yourself with it. It's really good. One last thing I want to just say, I'm on the board of the Association for Comprehensive Energy Psychology. We're a nonprofit, been around 25 years. If you go to their website and click the research button, you can we have a bibliography of all 400 articles, and they're broken down by different ways, different things. And that's energypsych.org, energypsych.org.
Energypsych.org. All right. And I'll put that in show notes. I'll put all the links. I'll put your website in the links
Great,
too, as well.
great.
So, well,
And
go ahead.
please, you were saying, how do people read? Just send me an email, and I'll try to point you in the right direction.
Awesome. Can they find that through your website, or what is your email?
rlbray@rlbray.com.
Awesome. Well, that's easy enough. All right.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Well, this again has just been so wonderful. Thank you. Thank you for sharing your wisdom and yes, and for walking me through it twice.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you're feeling a little better.
I am. I am. I know. I'm going to stand up here in a second and be like, oh, yeah.
Well, I love your energy. You've got this great energy that you bring, and it's so easy to talk with you. I'd talk with you any day.
Oh,
Call
thank
me,
you.
call me. We'll talk anytime.
All right. I love it.
Anyway,
I love it. And I'll do the same because I mean, I love your wisdom and learning and it's just been wonderful. So thank you. Thank you.
thank you.
All right. Well, everyone, thanks for joining us today on the Healing Place podcast. And remember, until next time, be gentle with yourself. Thanks. Bye-bye. Hey, everybody. Teri Wellbrock here. Just wanted to thank you again for being a part of this healing space and my hashtag Hope for Healing journey. Thank you for sharing, liking, inviting others to join, listening in. You've really helped this show blossom. It has now been downloaded in 136 countries and is in the top 2% globally out of 3.2 million shows, which is just amazing. And it's all because of you and your tuning in and inviting others and sharing and liking and loving. And your reviews on Apple really help too. My goal is to hit 100 5-star reviews by the end of the year. And I am closing in on that. So if you are listening in on Apple or Apple Podcasts, please go and rate the show and leave a review if you absolutely love it. And I would be most appreciative. Also, if you would like to receive my monthly Hope for Healing newsletter, please be sure to go to teriwellbrock.com. It's TERI, just one R, WELLBROCK.com. And I have a gift to send you for signing up for that monthly Hope for Healing newsletter. Plus, there are many other resources listed on that page, including a resource library. All right. Thanks. Bye-bye.